Our special guest here today exemplifies the mantra when you believe, you achieve. She's the kind of story that biopics are made out of. A village girl who went on to become a global wellness brand ambassador, a poster child for women empowerment and success. And today I have the humble opportunity to have her here on Transform with Neha. And I hope, Rekha, I'm able to do justice to your journey and to the canvas of your life.
Thanks a lot for your kind words. In fact, I'm sure because the way I have seen your past episodes, so you are giving justice to each and every character. So I don't have to think about that.
Well, I am inspired by people such as yourself. And if I can be really honest, Rekha, I am such a big fan of yours. You're such an inspiration with what you've done with your life. Rekha has, gone on to set up a foundation for rural and skill development. She's also, patented a project and a program called Mother's Touch, which we will talk about in a little while from now. She's the founder of World Digital Detox Day, and she is the first Indian personality to be awarded a doctorate. And these are just a few of her accolades. She's also a motivational speaker. She's taken the stage on distinguished platforms like Oxford University, John Hopkins, Harvard University, to name a few. And that list is endless. So I wanted to ask you, Rekha, what do you see in the mirror today? What do you think of your journey today?
Wow, such a beautiful question. I always suggest people to look every day yourself in the mirror and think about you, how you are. So that motivates you as a person. When I see myself in the mirror, in the sense my past journey, so I feel like, I have still to do lot many things. Whatever I have achieved, I'm surprised by myself. Not surprised because I have achieved the things, or not surprised because I have transformed the many things, but surprised how easy it was when I have crossed that journey. Before that, of course, it was a hurdle, biggest hurdle for me. But today, when I think, I say, oh, that was nothing what I did. When we think about anything to do in our life or anything to, start something in our life, so big question mark comes, that is, how I will do it. And things start from there. That could be the hardest thing or easiest thing, but before that, question comes in our mind, and that's what where I feel everyone start thinking, or thinking twice, should I do it or should I just think and leave it.
So let's begin with once upon a time when you were in this tribal village as a child. What was your world like then?
My mother had a traditional way thinking, where she used to say, like, girl has to be in the house, she has to work, do the domestic work, and cook properly and learn that thing, where the proper, jewelry, whatever parents are giving, and whatever, dressing style and all this, everything. But as a child, I don't know, somehow I never ever accepted all these things. My thought process and understanding by my own parents was a first hurdle to me. But I'm thankful to my father. My father was very much, I will say that is, he was very supportive. I was as a single girl in the house. So whatever my elder brother friend, they were my friend. I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to, roam with them. I wanted to play with them. But that was not accepted. That was not accepted by the society, and neither by my own mother, because she did not understand. I mean, they did not understand. So I have taken the permission from the house, and I used to ride the bicycle and go to the school, big bicycle. But before riding the bicycle, I wanted to learn that. So who will teach me? There is none of the girl who is riding that bicycle, right? So who will teach me? End of the day, my brother friend and my brother, they have to teach me. So it was like a biggest challenge again. Like, why boys? You have to go and talk to the boys. Why you have to go and do these things? All these things was happened, but somehow I learned. I learned when my mother was sleeping in the afternoon. I learned these things, and I started going in the school with the bicycle. When I was riding bicycle, slowly what happened, in that area, teachers were there. They came to me to my father. They said, they used to call me Akka. They said, Akka, when she riding the bicycle, she just look towards the uh, straight to what something she's just searching like that. And that's what I remember till today. Whatever I wanted to do, whatever, till today, my vision is very much clear to me. I decide, I focus, and I start working towards to that. People used to call me as a dreamy girl. They said, you look lot of, you just always see the dreams. And they used to laugh on me. You said, you just see the big, big dreams. But I said, yeah, I want to. Means I was not just seeing the dreams. I was seeing the dreams, but I was walking towards to the dreams.
So, today in smaller towns, in villages, we have something called the cell phone. They have access to the world. They have access to shaping their dreams because of something called google.com. But you didn't have that.
Right. But I feel much my thought was much more matured because of the situation in the society, or because of the situation in the house. When I feel when someone stop you to not to do some certain things, that time you become more determined to do something your own. That's what I feel. In the school, my name was taken for the certain sports after seventh when I went to the good school. So basketball or athletics, like long running, long jump, and all these things. Because my teacher, my sir, his I will never ever forget, Nikumbe sir. He was newly joined to our school. That person had certain thought process about me. He said, this girl can go really, really in a good way. And that's what he was looking towards to me. Not only that, I did not had permission from the house. He came along with two, three teachers. They came to my house. They asked my father to permit this girl because she has something spark inside, and that spark will definitely help our school to go on the state level. And I'm thankful to my father. He had given permission. Okay, you can take her in the team, and that's what my life changed. My life changed because I was playing on the ground, and that was the biggest day for me. I was playing on the ground, and whatever sir used to say, I was just blind to listen. And I said, okay. He said, Rekha, you have to just do the goal, you know so throw the ball and it has to go in that ring. That was my vision. Like, I have to just throw this. So from the long distance, I could, make the goal. That was my like, I was just mad or crazy behind like doing something. I would say craziness in the sense, in the good way. In the good way, I was just like, going, entering myself as a person there, and I said, okay, this is the things I should be doing. That's what, because end of the day, no, I was hungry for the opportunities, good opportunities. Something, if I'm getting something, I'm getting little bit, freedom. Let's utilize in a good way. So that freedom was very important for me. I knew this freedom is for the very short time. I will not get this chance again. Neither I will get this freedom again. So whenever I'm getting opportunity, just hit the goal.
You've shared something so beautiful today because I think so many of us take freedom for granted,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
can spark drive and ambition, and you wanting to do the best that you can with the opportunities that are presented to you, and that's what you did.
Till the means ninth, first time I got opportunity when my father opened the gym. Gym in the sense Vyayam Shala. It is called the Vyayam Shala, right? That was open for the boys. Boys used to go, and I just saw that, and I was just like, oh my God, something different. People are, the boys are working out for their body fitness, and that was, I was just crazy to see, curious actually, to looking towards that. What is exactly is this? I would just ask my father, can I do this? So my father said, okay, lift. You want to do it, lift. I just jumped inside and just I tried to lift that dumbbell, and that was my actually, I don't know what happened to me, I don't know, but I said somehow I have to learn these things. I have to learn these things. And I asked my father, can we come here? Like, no, can I come here? No, he said, no, no, no. Here girls are not allowed. And this is a Maruti Bhagwan photo is there. So Maruti Bhagwan doesn't allow girls to come here. That was, that was his answer. I said, but Kaka, please, I want to do something. He said, okay, you want to do something. So I will just start. You can do outside there. And that side you can just start something. I said, okay, whatever is there, but just allow me to come here. So then that time he had already thought process started, because he said my daughter also wants this thing. So he started the legend for the girls first time, and Vyam, he started the Vyam Shala for the separately for the girls. Like, so after the 18, 19, I got married. I really do not wanted to get married because I had certain desire in my inside in my mind or heart where I wanted to do. I don't know. I wanted to do something different like that. So got married. Then after that, living as a housewife completely as a traditionally. In fact, a lot of restriction had come after the marriage again. So in that area also, surrounded area also, other women were thinking that is, I don't know, I don't have any idea about domestic work. Remember, after the marriage, I think so, third or fourth day, they got to know this is a difficult one of the dish what is called like rumali roti, but it's a different version of the rumali roti. It's very very difficult task which only old experienced woman can do that. I could easily do that Puran Poli very easy for me because I was observant. Whenever I'm observing something, how to do, just learn the techniques, learn the skills like that. So when that all these women got to know that is some such a difficult task, this girl can do it. So it was like they wanted to do the examining for me. They were not able to accept that this girl can do this kind of traditional dish. So I remember all of them were standing around me, and I'm sitting inside middle of that place, and I'm performing that. So I was easily doing the with the hand and rumali routine, put everything I did. So it was like wow for them. It was they said, wow, this is how she can do it. Just think about that. So you as a woman or you as a girl examining by the others only by domestic skills. So when your domestic skills become such an important part for them compared to the your other skills, so so forget about anything whatever you want to do in your life, because their end of the day their thought process or their thinking about one person or other woman is like that. She has to perform the proper domestic work. She has to be devoted the daughter-in-law or daughter, or she has to be under the society rules. That is the thought process society is carrying, right? So when they are thinking about that, so I am as a being as a dream girl, thought my thought was not fitting in that square. So I was always thinking some other way. I was always thinking, oh, this dish was nothing to me except the observation, observing and learning the skills and moving ahead. That's all. And another thing is this curiosity to learn that thing. That was my good quality or bad quality that society has to decide, not me. So I was staying in that kind of thought process, people mindset area. You said about the mobile has reached everywhere, but I don't think so that thought process has changed. That thought process are still people are carrying, especially in the villages. If you see, still it is dominated by the male society. Is like male dominated society. If any woman wants to do something in her life, So she has been considered as something like, call as like, she's not the right person. Like people used to tell my husband he should get second, he should do the second marriage, because I've been giving the birth to the girl baby, like no girl child. Frankly, if you'll ask me, you will laugh on me. But till the time I did not come to Mumbai, till the time I did not learn, got the exposed to the world. I also started thinking it's my problem. It's my fault. I'm giving the baby girl birth. It's my fault. I would say, like, 80% women or 90% women, they are facing this problem till today. Whatever you say, Google has reached to that place, or whatever happened to the transformation in the villages, but thought process is fixed, years in year that, people are carrying that. So I cannot forget that moment till today. It is in my ears. On the marriage stage, one of the college principal, he's coming and he's greeting me and saying me namaste, and he's saying, Rekha, it's good time for you got married, but we were waiting for you to come and join our team. Whole sport people were waiting for you. So just think, that means something I had inside, and which I was very much, confident what I am doing. I was very much confident, but whether my family understood, whether society understood, that was the biggest question mark. Because I have to get married because I was tall. My mother could not take the more pressure because society is putting the lot of pressure on her. Father has to accept because no society people are coming and talking to him that is she's getting older and 18 years old and she's still not married. 19 years old, she's not married, means I was 18 and a half when I got married. So these were the pressure. Out of the pressure, all these actions happens in the society. I went to the state level. From state level, I was selected for the national level. And literally, I remember literally my teachers and my principal, they came to my house and they asked my father to send her for the national level. She's already selected. I was the first one and only one selected for that game. And but no one understood that importance of that, right? So they said no to this, strictly no, because I was getting married. All this, like, leftover desires which I wanted to complete. So when my daughter started going to the school, I started pursuing that. I don't wanted to put my dreams on their action, but same time I wanted to give that, ignite their dreams. I wanted to, because what I suffer, I don't wanted my daughters to suffer. My action used to always stand something unique. For example, used to go along with my mother-in-law. I used to go to the temple. So that temple, in that temple, they were teaching, like, boys, all boys used to play the some dandiya in that temple, inside the temple. So I went and I said, okay, do this. I just asked my mother-in-law, I want to go and teach them. She said, okay, go. So that was that was another chance I got. Immediately I went and I just corrected the action. But inside, that was just simple, like, tell you are getting, you have to catch just like this. No, that way I did. I started, like, training them. Then every day I got an interest to going to the temple. Otherwise, I did not had that much interest to go to the temple. But I started going with her in the temple and I started teaching. Then slowly, gradually, what I did, I was bringing the discipline in their work. I was bringing them, and I said, okay, then small younger girls were there. I called them also, okay, come, I will teach you also. The parents started liking that. Parents are starting liking. Top of that, these grandparents, whomever was sitting and watching all these things, no, they said, oh, Rekha Tai is really good. She brings a lot of discipline in this boys' work. So let her do this thing. And that was the actually, permission for me. You will not believe that small action becomes such a huge and massive action for that town. That started, they started conducting the fair there because of my that dandiya. 9 days in Navratri, I started organizing this dandiya. when I started organizing this dandiya, this was like, I did for all type of age group. Then I started for the younger girl till the married woman. I started for all of them, and that has become such a huge massive action for that town. People started coming from all over the villages. A lot of shopkeepers started selling there. A lot of people started coming in, four side and middle of that square. In that square I used to perform whole this act front of the temple. Literally people used to tell me, you should have born in the city, you should have not born in the village, like that. They always used to tell me. But same time, whole domestic work I used to do. My mother-in-law was very traditional lady. She wanted each and everything to doing at home. No servant, nothing. Everything she wanted to do. Even the difficult tasks, traditional tasks I used to do. But suppose I have to go and train these children, I used to do whole thing in the morning, and that sleeping time, afternoon time, where normally in the villages, many places you will see till today, many places that's afternoon hours, 2 or 3 hours, minimum at least 2 hours. Every woman is resting, she's sleeping. Family members, they are also sleeping in the afternoon. That particular time, even though before marriage and after marriage, I got that knack. This particular time is mine. Instead of sleeping, instead of watching any TV or anything, I have to just rush and do something. By the time I was known in the that area, I started a small beauty parlor in my house. My husband had given certain hours to me. In that hours I used to run the beauty parlor. And that beauty parlor also stood as a something different action, different, completely different, because I did a nice decor. I started designing my own products, started working on that product. And I declared to everybody, whomever wants to come, they have to come 1 day prior appointment, right? So that has become like, they used to laugh on me. They said, yo, this is not the government office, you are asking us to give the ask for the prior appointment and only certain hours. So how I can tell them I have got the certain hours permission? None of them are aware about this. My products picked started showing very good result to them. And those days for the facial, I used to charge 1,500 rupees. It was an expensive parlor in that area. It's really expensive parlor. So that's what. So when I have to put the name of the this one, my parlor name, so I went to the one of the doctor. She was my friend, her husband, and she both were doctor. And I was like, Neha, I was just trying to have the good company, who is educated, who can guide me. Nothing else. I did not wanted anything from them, but how they live, what exactly they think, what kind of action they do, what books they read, how they talk, all these things. For that only, just I wanted any one good company who can, who is really living this kind of life where I can learn out of that. So my learning process never ever stopped. It was constantly learning from everything, whatever I'm doing or someone is doing. I was constantly learning.
I have a question for you. If back then, which must have been how many years ago? 20 years ago?
More than that.
More than that, if your facial was 1,500 back then,
32 years.
2 years ago, you charged 1,500 for a facial. I
Right.
want to ask you what you're charging now.
now I got a lot of celebrity clients. I got a lot many politicians. So you can think about that.
So, so all of this was in a small town, and clearly wherever you went, you left your magic, a little bit of Rekha in behind. But now let's move to Mumbai, because once you came here, it was a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So coming to Mumbai for the daughters' education, and apart from that, my brother's children were with me, and my husband's children were with me. So I came for their education, My father had kept toppers from our area, toppers children in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, where the toppers of in 10th and 12th children, he used to help them because he is a social worker. He has devoted his whole life for the his social work. So he like no underprivileged children, he used to send them Mumbai. So that was the only one connection I had to come to Mumbai, and that connection, because of that connection, I came to Mumbai.
What was your traditional language that you grew up with?
Traditional language is called Irani. Irani is not in the exist in any other office, and then next language is second language is Marathi. So that was a language which we used to speak there. And so when I came here, so I saw the complete 360-degree difference, the complete in the culture, staying, walking, talking, everything was completely different, new to me, completely new to me. It was a cultural shock to me, you know. Second, language was the biggest barrier. If I have to communicate with someone here, so that was the biggest challenge for me, because where I was staying, that was a completely cosmopolitan society, and especially neighbors to me was all these South Indian, bachelors. They were 4 5 bachelors. They were staying, and all of them were, they were not even knowing Hindi also. So I started first concentrating on their education. Same time, what happened, I left my saloon as it is, wherever I was in the town. So that saloon means that beauty thing was not leaving me back. So I started going to the beauty salon, but your beauty salon here was completely different than what we had in our town. The beauticians are educated, they are speaking so fluent English, they are communicating so well with the customer. Their interior is something different, what product they are using something different. All these things were completely again challenging to me. First I tried, I want to see the saloon. So many places they denied, naturally they denied, because my attire was completely different. I was as a completely traditional village woman, and I'm just going and asking them. So normally how we say no, like for any beggar comes, oh no no, go ahead, like that. So it happened with me also. So then what I did, I said, okay, let me just go for one treatment at least, something. So I started going for doing the eyebrow there, and that's what I entered in the salon. Then I started observing how these people work, what exactly they do. All this information I was just gradually, I was just collecting. I was riding the bike here. On the bike I used to go, don't know anything, only carrying my house address, and I have to just go whichever area I'm just going, seeing I'm just going there. But I was observing, wherever I see the saloon I just go enter there, like that. This is what I started my journey towards the beauty and wellness industry. But one thing I learned, when if I have to do something in this industry, I have to learn English. Now, challenge again for me, learning language was the problem. Is that is I could not go and attend any classes because I did not have that much time with me. Oh, no. I had so many children in the house. I have to take care of their education, cooking, and their all this, their dropping and picking up, all these things I have to do all activities. In that activities, I had a hardly 1 hour remaining for myself where I was doing this observation. So there no chance to learn English going in the classes and learn. So what I did, all the bachelors whoever was staying next to me, I started communicating with them, and I started talking to them, you know and I used to now talking to them in the Hindi, little bit, like Hindi was a challenge for me, so forget about English. But then whatever they used to speak in English, no, I used to just write down. I used to always carry pen with me, write down in Marathi on my hand. And I used to come back and ask my daughters, what is the meaning of this? What is this? And that particular 2 3 words I used to just rectify. You will be laughing. I didn't know where to put what and where and where to put was. I did not know. My starting was from there. My target was that in whole day, at least three sentences, something I have to grab from them. Second, the purpose I have to go and speak out that sentence or speak out that words. So just think about that, Neha. People were laughing on me. This was not the normal practice. Never ever discourage myself. That was one thing. What was my thought process? What I used to think. I used to think I'm not looking forward for the any gold medal from anybody until and unless I don't get gold medal from me, from my side, inside to me.
For me, in this story that you've shared, my personal takeaway is that when you want to do something in life, despite the obstacles, despite the barriers, you'll find a way to do it.
Mm.
But now let's move
Right.
to your first breakthrough, the breakout opportunity that you got in the beauty and wellness space.
Yeah. One of the exhibition where I went and I saw the one brand, and that brand attracted me because there was a lady who had applied the black mask on the face, and the French couple, they were standing in that stall and they were talking about it. So my problem was till that time I just learned hardly. I was reached level where I could make small sentence, not very complete fluent English. But I went to them and I spoke to them upfront. I said, okay, I want to know about this brand, and fortunately that woman was looking someone has a dark skin where she wanted to show the result of her product,
Mm.
and she was waiting for her model did not come, so she asked, would you like to become my model? So I did not understand completely. So next to her another woman was standing. She said she is asking you to become the model. I said, wow, yes, I will do it. I was so happy. I said, wow, this is a good opportunity. Okay, I will do it. Highly educated beauticians, they were sitting. Until that time, I did not achieve my completely attire was not changed. I was still the more on the village look, but I from sari I came to the Punjabi dress. Till that much changes was already happened with me. So when I was on the stage, all of them were looking towards me. How she reached there? First question was that. Second, that is after that facial, I spoke in Hindi, but whatever I could give the feedback, that feedback, given the sparkle in that French lady's mind, because she could understand I know the technique. The translator was transforming her what I was telling to the audience. That was my turning point. From there till today, I'm just going on and on and on and on. Taking that brand for the distribution, there was no money for putting for that business, and then without my family knowing, I dissolve all this my jewelry, whatever I had, and I just took their permission, say yes for the taking the brand. That's it. My transformation from the housewife to going towards to the entrepreneur, that has started. I'm telling everyone, whomever will listen this, they should think about that. If they want to become the entrepreneur, or they want to enter in this professional zone. So I feel no means no one should wait for that. No one should wait. And it is not like, not never ever expect green carpet is laying down for you. Never ever expect. That's what I felt, never ever, because it was not easy for me. Permission to permission, after permission to after permission, and that permission is like, as like begging.
Mm.
It's not easy begging to everybody, you know till the time you don't perform yourself, none of them will trust you, and they don't know what inside you have, what sparkle you have. You yourself know more than others. You yourself know, and you should know what exactly you can do, right? And that's what I knew. I can like, मिट्टी से सोना बनाना है,
Mm.
right? That kahawat is there in our, if you see this is always people say, अरे उसने तो मिट्टी से सोना बना दिया. What that mean? What is the hidden message behind that? It is that completely clearly crystal and clear for us. That is, that means is, whatever opportunity you are getting, convert into the biggest opportunity.
So, Rekha, I want to spend a few moments to talk about Mother's Touch, this beautiful patent that you've pioneered, so to speak.
Yeah. So, Mother's Touch, Neha, it is a beautiful gift to the new mother and especially for the newborn baby. 33 years back, when my mother gave me these certain rituals, so she got gifted from her mother. And that's how she passed on that gift to me. And then further, I want to pass on this gift to my daughters. But that is just a journey I want to stop. No, because this secret has to come out. It's a beautiful gift by our ancient, which has to go out, come out, and everyone should be enjoying. He was the first one to take the patents on the rituals. There was a patents on the products or certain other things, but rituals, there was none of them had taken patents. So you forget your body as naturally is designed to have certain things, especially like giving birth to the child, where your body needs to rest. Your body need to have some certain rest, certain rituals, certain things to control your mind, control your physical tired fatigueness, and due to that causing the mentally depression. So nowadays if you see the lot of depression, you see mentally lot of depression in the society, and especially if you see the after the delivery, lot many women suffer for the mental depression. First, that is they have lost their own career because they have to conceive the baby. Second, their body shape has changed, you know. Third, that is they are not able to cope up with the after the delivery with the child and their own this own physical strength, because power so your physical strength automatically it goes down for a certain period, where you have to recover again, you have to re-powered again, right? So all these things, when she is going through all these challenges, so automatically she goes to the depression. So this ritual, what I'm talking about, Mother's Touch, this ritual is designed to bring back her energy, bring back her power, give her the mental strength, and this is a beautiful rituals actually.
So before you leave us here, Rekha, I wanted to ask you, one last question. You've had this huge transformative journey, from a village girl to a global leader. If you could shed some light on what do you feel today are those values that you received, in a small town, in your childhood, that actually holds more weightage for success in compared to the modern woman.
So, Neha, this is a beautiful question. In fact, because I have led the three level of the life, village and then urban and then international. That is my transformation completely. And when I was in the whole each and every phase of my life, so I have seen the drastic difference. The cultural value, what I feel. Certain cultural values which is carried in the villages, I feel that's a very very important, which has given me a lot of strength to you know to come out front of the world. So important thing is that is people value means what I would say, the people respect for each other. Community take care of that person very, very responsibly. It is taken by the community. Responsibility is taken by the community, because it's a small area where people are staying, and then they respect each other. Second is that is the everyone believes in the karma. No, what you give to the society, or what you give to the others, or what you live your life, it comes back to you. And so God is there to see you. God is watching you. Like these are the things what we hear from the childhood. But there is no God. There is it's not exactly God, but it is exactly your responsibilities. And that's what that comes to you automatically in your behavior, in your talk, in your elderly suggestions, whatever is suggestion you are getting from your elder elderly people from your house or your outside society. Your cousin means your cousin is, or your uncle means your real uncle is not needed. It's like, no, neighbor is also your uncle who takes responsibility. So that's what I mean to say. That's what the values what I saw in the villages. And that's what another thing is, they are not exposed to the world, so their exposure is very limited, and that exposure connected with the nature. Very simple life with the simple thought process, not so many expectations, and that values, I don't think so. Anyone has been getting experience in the urban or international platform. I don't think so, because that is a completely different lifestyle. No need to have the lock and key and all these things in the villages. Till now, it is a scenario. Your neighbor can also look after your house. People can take care of your elderly, any sick person in the house, even though you are not in the house. So these are the things are is bounded with the responsibility by the society, and that society responsibility is really, really, in a good way. I would say good way. Transparency in the behavior, connected to the nature, very, like, worshipping the nature. These values are taught in the small town. Care of take care of each other. So your karma will come back to you. So what is the karma means? What you do, the actions, it repeats in your own life. So do good karma and it will automatically come back to you. That's what the value teaches. you know
My good karma for the day is having this, and all your thoughts and insights and wisdom that you shared. If it can make a difference to even one life out there, then that's my good karma for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rekha. Thank you so much for joining us here today.